Hey guys, Tris TV here. Today I'm going to be ranking the Arsenal squad of players I'd keep, loan and sell. There are some players who have already transferred, but I'm doing this based on players from the current squad. If I was in charge, I'd keep, loan and sell. So without further ado, let's start off with the first player, Albert Sambi Lokonga. It's been a difficult time for him at Arsenal. He's had a few years of experience in the Premier League with the likes of Crystal Palace and Luton Town, but it's very difficult for him to break into such a competitive squad, and I just don't think he's Arsenal quality for us, so I just think it's best to cash in on him now. So I'd sell. Reiss Nelson. He's had some flashes of good moments in an Arsenal shirt. He did almost help us towards the title with that fantastic goal he scored against Bournemouth a few seasons ago, but since then he's had his injury issues on loan at Fulham, and it's just been quite a difficult time for him mentally at Arsenal, especially with all the competition. I think for the best of his career he should move on elsewhere, so I'd put him in sell. Leandro Trossard, a very good impact sub, especially coming off the bench. He comes up with some important goals if we're chasing a game and everything, and I think that's best for him, but I wouldn't like to see him play every single game, but I think he'd be an effective sub for us, so for that reason I'd keep. Raheem Sterling was a very underwhelming loan that we signed him for. Yeah, made his debut in the League Cup against Bolton and appeared a few times on the bench, but he wasn't the Raheem Sterling we all knew at Man City, who had that burst of pace and could take on players, and just hasn't worked out, and he's going back to Chelsea. And if he was here, I'd sell as well, so I'd put him in sell. Alexander Zinchenko. It's been a bit of a mixed time for him at Arsenal. Started off very effectively when we were doing the inverting system when he signed, but since then it's not really worked for us. He's had his injury issues, but I don't think he's a left back, and if we're not going to utilise him in the position of midfield, which I think he's more effective, and I think his original position is a number 10, there's no point keeping him in the squad, so we might as well sell. Neto rarely even played for the Arsenal first team. Only made one appearance against Girona in the Champions League, where of course he got lobbed from outside the box, and of course he was cup tied, so I don't really understand why we brought a cup tied goalkeeper and we didn't play him either in the cups, even of course like in the Champions League group stages, but I just never understood the signing, and I'd have sold him, but it's just a very confusing signing we made. Kieran Tierney is kind of very sad what he's done for the club. He's like the captain. I'd say he bleeds Arsenal, the passion he's shown for the club. Even when he wasn't playing every week, when he comes off the bench, or if he plays a few games in a season, you always know you're going to get 8 out of 10 performances from him, and you know he's always going to give his all and everything, and I wish him the best of luck when he goes back to his team Celtic, and I'm sure he'll do extremely well which was the reason why we brought him from that team. But if I was to decide, I'd have kept him. Jorginho, is effective as a sub, but he's just gone. He's not got that explosive bit of skill anymore, and I think he's just coming towards the end of his career and everything, and I just never saw the reason. Yeah, it's for experience, but I never saw the reasons, so I'd have sold. Mikel Merino has surprised me when he's played at striker, because I never thought he was a striker. I thought he was primarily a midfielder. Done very well at striker, but that's not what we signed him for, and he struggles a bit in the midfield. I don't know if it's the system or anything, but in midfield he doesn't seem comfortable there and anything. I'd still keep him. He's a very effective player, but it's just a funny kind of signing. We signed him to play midfield, but we've put him as striker, and he's been effective there. Martin Odegaard, it's difficult. He turns up when the pressure's off, and it's difficult really, because you see him when he turns up, you know what quality he can give, but it's just sometimes frustrating for the fans that they can't see it on a consistent basis and everything. And I'd still keep him, but the fans want to see consistent performances, and it's justifiable for that reason. Declan Rice, like he's a leader. He knows what it means to play for the club. Yeah, he has some games good, some games bad, but every footballer has that, and yeah, he's got a huge price tag for him, but I think if he continues his mentality and how he is, I think he can really go right to the top of the football club, so I'd keep. Thomas Partey, look, has put in some good performances, was very injury prone, especially for a few seasons. Has been mostly available this season, but I just think it's time to cash in on him now and everything. With his contract expiring, or if they give him an extension, I'd still sell him. Kai Havertz, big money we spent on him, been injured. Like Merino, he's primarily a attacking midfielder, number 10, but we play him at striker, but I just think he'd be good as a backup striker, but I wouldn't start him like every single week. I'd still keep. Jurrien Timber, another injury prone player. Like when he's available, top performances that he puts up, and keeping Ben White out of the team, but I think it's very just difficult, especially when it's injured, the psychological impacts and effects that it can have on you. But I think with his mentality, he will keep going, so I'd keep. Jakub Kiwior stepped in with some good performances when Gabriel was injured, and I think, yeah, he's a backup, but I think it's the best time to cash in on him is now, after a few good performances, because I do believe we can have some competition for Gabriel and Saliba. So if I was to be in charge, I'd sell. Gabriel Jesus, it's just not the Gabriel Jesus we signed and thought we'd have had glimpses of good performances, especially in the first season during our title run, but it's just not worked out. Had about 3 knee surgeries, and I think it's really took a toll on him, and I don't think he really wants to be at the club, so I'd sell. Tommy Setford, he played a game in the League Cup against Bolton and did quite well, but I just think he needs more first team football every single week, so I'd loan. Carl Hein, yeah, unfortunately got relegated with Real Valladolid from La Liga, but we need a third choice goalkeeper, and I think he'd be happy to be second or third choice, so I'd keep. Bukayo Saka, of course, as fans know him as Starboy. Guy, he's kind of been like an amazing player for us. Like, he plays with no fear. Another one of the players who knows what it means to play for Arsenal. Really tough sometimes, of course, when he had his recent hamstring injury. But I think we need to manage his minutes and not overplay him too much, because we still haven't seen the best of what Bukayo Saka can do and everything, and the goals he can score. I just think if we manage him well, then we will see a really effective football player, so I'd keep. Ricardo Calafiori had a okay Euros when we signed him, but I don't think he's a left back. Similar to Zinchenko, I'd play him in the midfield and everything. We'll just have to see. He's only had one season, and if I want to be consistent, I'd give him another season, so I'd keep. William Saliba, of course, top centre back and everything, and if it was up to me, I'd keep him, but if his head gets turned and he wants to aim higher and everything, I wouldn't be against it and everything, but I'd want to keep him in the squad. Same goes for Gabriel. Despite signing a new contract and everything, he's a top centre back as well. That partnership is like an amazing defence, and if we can keep them fit every week and add quality to the squad, it's definitely going to help the team going forward. Gabriel Martinelli, very frustrating player for fans sometimes. When they watch him, sometimes it's just head down, run on the wing, when the Martinelli we used to know would take on players, be technical and find a player and have an eye for goal, and I don't know what's happened. I'd keep him, but I just hope that he can get that out of his game, because we know how effective he can be and everything. Ben White, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult at times. Done very well at right back, but I just think since Timber's come in, he's kept him out of the team, and I don't know if he'd be happy to play second choice to Timber or anything. But I'd still keep him because he's effective if Timber's injured. But if he doesn't want to play second choice to Timber, then I wouldn't be against him being sold. Ethan Nwaneri, what a breakout season! Like, all the injuries we've had and everything, he's been like a bright spark in our team and everything, and I just think he's one of those, again, we need to manage his minutes and everything, but damn, what a breakout season he's had. I'd definitely keep. David Raya, good and effective goalkeeper. Sometimes he can just cause mayhem sometimes when he runs out and is erratic and running towards the halfway line when he doesn't need to, but overall I think he's done well for the club and I'd keep him. Tomiyasu, been injured. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happened to him. I don't remember the last time he's played, and I think it's just best to cash in on him now, so I'd sell. Miles Lewis-Skelly, another breakout season. What a footballer. What a season he's had. And another player we should manage his minutes, and I'd definitely keep him. Nuno Tavares, not worked out at the club. Did show glimpses in his first season, but it's just not been it for him at this club, and I'd have sold him. Fabio Vieira, it's not worked out for him either, and I think it's just time to cash in on him now. And yeah, that it's unfortunate. We thought big things, but it didn't happen. Marquinhos, I never understood this deal. I knew we wanted to recruit players who we think would be world class, but it's not really worked out, and he never really impressed on his loan spells. And good luck to him, hoping he can get his career back. Maldini Cacciuri, similar to Tommy Setford, he played a few games in the EFL Cup against Bolton, did well. I just think he needs men's football every week, so we know what kind of player he is. Thank you everyone for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and thank you.